I have a couple of questions. The first question is that what is science learning about dopamine now in 2024? In 2025, what are we still learning about dopamine? And the second question is about that point of regulated dopamine levels. So say if you've become a good boy or a good girl, what happens to your sense of living?
Yeah.
What happens to the quality of your life? Both these
Yeah.
questions.
So, one amazing scientific breakthrough that has come about in the last few years is unlocking this gut brain connection. So, until now, we thought that mental health issues, whether it's depression, anxiety, addiction, everything was just in the brain. Recently, we figured out that more than 80% of things like serotonin, dopamine, all of these good, feel good hormones actually made in the gut, not in the brain.
We found that out recently.
Yes. So only now we're recognizing that the gut actually is our second brain. I call it the first brain because hey, it does more of the work, right? So now the new therapies when it comes to mental health are focusing on how to optimize the gut health. The bacteria in our gut actually making way more dopamine and way more serotonin than we thought, not just the brain. So that's really the game changer in the scientific world.
Wow. But how come the scientific world discovered this so late?
Exactly.
Like, why did we assume that dopamine, serotonin are produced in your brain region in the first place?
Because the manifestation of dopamine and serotonin when it comes to mood, anxiety, depression, or happiness, joy, everything was just our brain regulating it. We never thought that the brain was talking to another organ. So recently they did a study in Korea. They made people take personality test. And they said, fill out this questionnaire. Let's figure out what type of personality you have. Are you the paranoid, the more optimistic? And then they took samples of their poop, essentially, to check what type of bacteria they had. They found direct correlation between the type of bacteria they had and the personality traits they had. So more inflammatory, more negative, bad bacteria they had more negative personality traits. More anxiety, more anger, more frustration, more sort of a negative, pessimistic view of the world. Versus the healthier bacteria that they had in the gut, they had a more positive perspective on the world.
Wow.
So it's just one of the proofs that our brain, our gut are so intimately connected.
And there's research papers based on like this.
Exactly. So now I hope no one's watching this after their lunch because I'm going to say something that might be a little upsetting. One of the frontiers of medicine we're looking at is actually stool transplant.
Yeah.
So we're looking to transplant healthy bacteria into the gut as treatment for things like anxiety, depression, autoimmune disease, cancer, even Parkinson's, Alzheimer's, so many things. So it just goes to show you that this connection really plays a much bigger role than we ever even imagined.
Yeah, we've had a doctor, his name's the liver doc.
Yeah.
He's a friend of mine. He has done the stool transplant thing in India as well for liver health.
Yes.
And we've discussed the poop transplant on his episode as well. But I'd love for you to do a bit of a recap. Viewers are advised to be careful. Go for it, doctor.
I'll keep it as clean as possible. So the idea is that we have trillions of bacteria in the gut, and they help us with all sorts of things, from managing our hormones, inflammation, our immune system, to even our mental health. So the idea is that if I encounter any disease, then maybe I need to replace the bacteria, get some good guys in, remove the bad guys. And the best way to do this is borrow it from someone who's healthy. So just like there is blood banks, sperm banks, there's actually poop banks that collect samples from healthy individuals that we use to put into someone who's battling some of these diseases.
In a capsule form, right?
No.
Is it like ice cream?
So, I mean, okay, we're getting a little gross here, but I'll tell you exactly how it works. You actually put poop with some good chemicals together, you blend it, and then while doing a colonoscopy, you inject that poop inside. So don't worry, you're not drinking or eating any of it.
That's great.
It's going the other way, so don't worry.
But this is supposed to help your gut produce further good bacteria.
Yes.
Right? The overarching conversation we're having here is about mental health and what I call mental fitness, which is the ability to be ready for life's sad, angry, and disappointing phases.
Yes.
I think it's something very underrated. And I love my own therapist. I love the process of clinical therapy. But at the same time, it's very, very important to take care of lifestyle factors as well.
Yes. Every time we eat, we're not just feeding our body, we're also feeding our guests, which are these trillions of bacteria. So diet probably has the biggest influence on our gut microbiome. And that's something we can do to nurture it every single day.